It's been a bit of a busy week for Duel Links thus far, right? First of all, we've had the release of Nash in Duel Links, we've got a brand new Rush Duel box, upcoming updates, a big campaign, and a big speed box coming this week, which we'll go through all of that in today's video. Now, let's start first of all with the most interesting thing to me personally, and that is the Dream UR SR pack campaign. Now, this is really cool because it gives you a free pack every day until late March, right? Which is going to be around like a month and a half's worth of free cards, free box cards. Now, it is random, it is every box in the game, so you can get stuff from the last box or from the Ultimate Rising back in 2016. And so for me personally so far, it's all been SRs, it's been 2 cards in box chips, one of them was a Mech Knight trap card I believe it was, and so far for me personally, not been that great, but free is free, and so this is really cool, and a really big, really good campaign. It just feels like one of those things they give it into service, but obviously we're not close to that anytime soon. We've then got the upcoming updates for February. Now, this, of course, would have been its own video usually. However, given the lack of anything in here, I feel like it's not worth it. So, we know we've got Nash happening until the 10th. That's a big chunk of the month gone. KC Cup again is a big chunk of the month gone as well. That's 2 weeks gone, basically. And then you're into Tour Guide and a Marin rerun. Now, the Marin rerun is really big because it does kind of confirm that Konami so far have been speeding up reruns, right? We saw it with Noah, we kind of saw it with the Rush characters, right? Going from Yuka into Tiger into Emi, and Noah we thought maybe a bit of one-off, but no, it does seem like they're speeding things up. Now, the big downside is they're not speeding everything up because we know gate unlocks, right? You know, we're missing, what, Vector, Marek, Yuka, Tiger, and then obviously now we have Noah is valid, Emi valid, so that's like 7 characters we're waiting on to go to the gate. Now, hopefully we see 1 or 2 of them surprise drop in February, right? That's my kind of hope, because if not, then that's a really bad precedent that, yes, they are kind of making things better by speeding them up, but at the same time, they are still cutting off box sales, because if you look at things like Yuka or Tiger for Rush Duel in particular, those are really important for your box releases when those box releases are so far and few between, right? So that's it. It feels really weird. Now, card-wise, I don't really think it's worth going over in great detail. You've got a Mazar rerun card as a drop for the Tour Guide, which is not great. Baron Topia, of course, is going to be more support for the deck we're currently building with Shark, and of course, Seas Avenger is a dark fiend that doesn't really fit with Marin's cards, but I guess they had to put it somewhere. Okay, sure, reruns usually aren't the best, and this one seemingly is not really going to be doing that much. We've then got Nash, our newest character in Duel Links. Now, of course, his event is a raid event, which we've been waiting on for a long time now. I think the last one was actually Mazar's, maybe? So it's been like a full year, I guess, of a non-raid event. And so they've done this quite well, in that they've gone in, they've given you the usual rewards, but also they've rerun the Crystal Shark. And this was kind of the worry when we saw Marin was coming, and then Nash was coming so soon afterwards, was that if you missed out, then you were kind of screwed. Now, in terms of new cards here, you've got your Baron Hope, which we're going to be setting up with the Baron skill, the big 20 Xyz extract skill. We also got the Abyss Shark as well, which is obviously the better one. From the Crystal Shark, they could have boxed this one, but they didn't. And that's really, really good. Now, Nash overall is quite funny looking in the door wheel, because you've got Marin, then Nash, then Yuma, then Shark, then Rio. So, like, you can't really tell, just looking at the wheel, which one is which. So I wish they would have done something like actually put their Baron forms here. It would have just made a bit more sense. Even if it's on the default form, it would have made a bit of sense. Now, in terms of random cards, they're actually not bad, right? So we're getting the Quick Magic Chaos, which does rank up a card you control, which is perfectly fine, right? We've got the C73 Abyss Super Splash, which I've got, I believe, in a prismatic foil in Korean from the Legendary Duel set that came out, Legendary Dragon set, which is a real nice memory of me, kind of getting back to Yu-Gi-Oh! In university. Bit of a random off topic. I don't think this is going to be all that great, right, at the moment in Duel Links. We then got the level 11, your Sun on a Dark. Now, obviously, the big asterisk is Sun on Ark is a box card. And so, to play this, you have got to go to the box, but kind of expecting Duel Links nowadays, this is fine as a one-off if you want to run it. I don't even know if you will. We've also got the Valiant Shark Lancer, again, a one-off if you want to run it, and some multiple copies of those cards as well. So overall, very good drops. I think like if you're trying to roleplay Nash, roleplay Shark, right, I think you're going to enjoy that. Again, they could have put these cards in box 2 slots, and they haven't, so that's great, but also, some of these feel like they would have been really good a little bit earlier on. Like, if they're not going to be played now, then they could have released this earlier on and, had these cards be playable in some way. Now, again, I'm not too sure. I've not kind of gone too deep into the box and the skills, because honestly, not really a theme for me. Now, in terms of new skills, you've got the Ark of Souls, which puts your ace in your extra deck for free and gives you a draw sense as well. Barion's Chaos Draw is going to guarantee you're drawing into your rank at Magic the 7th one, but also it gives you a Pot of Greed effect by throwing away a card in your hand. And so we're seeing that more with the alt-style skills, right? And so it is kind of neat we're getting that for Nash by default. That's pretty cool. And of course the big one is the Baron Battlemorph, the leader of the 7. This skill is bonkers because it gives you 20 Xyzes in your extra deck. Of course, you've also got the hand fixing effect, right? You're filling a fish in your hand to then get 2 cards in your deck to hand, and then you're sending one's graveyard, perfectly fine. And then of course, if you Baron Battlemorph, you're getting your rank at Magic for free from outside your deck. Which, I think the skill is pretty cool. It is very anime roleplay. They want you to be like Nash in the show, using all of the Baron numbers, and so we'll see if it is any good. Again, I've not really read too closely into the cards to see if it's going to be that great of a strategy. Now, on top of that is the brand new mini box, the Ark of Seventh. Now, it's interesting because we've not got an anniversary box, and if you look at this, you can easily see where they could have gone and done one, right? They could have given more Shark support, could have been some Tachyon cards, right? The old type of Galaxy's Tachyon Dragon getting a reprint. We could have put Banner Box in there as well, given that they're finally getting the Counter Trap, and I believe that means they're now complete in Duel Links, which, it is pretty good, but they're not really going to do much. Of course, the big thing is you're getting Honor Arc, you're getting new Tachyon support, you're getting Punks as well coming to Duel Links. Now, they're not going to be complete, but they're getting some good cards, right? Of course, they could be getting the Psychic End Punisher. Of course, they can use some generic bosses as well, and so hopefully we'll see some more of those down the line. But of course, we're getting 7th Tachyon, a very scary card from TCU Sinner in Duel Links. I don't think it's going to be as scary, right, as in that game, but, this is a plenty fine mini-box overall, I think. Just for me personally, it's not really there. Now, if it was for me, I would have been going in for the Punk stuff, right? But given that we've got a brand new Rush box to go through, and also we're expecting in March there to be a Rush character, then that's where my gems are being saved, because personally, this box doesn't really do much for me. Now, of course, we're getting some bundles on top. We're getting a big bundle for Nash Knight and the Chaos Nash Knight, alongside a bunch of packs. This should be 1600 gems, I believe that's what the 2-card bundles are usually, should be that one. And of course, for Mazar, for Kite decks, you've got the Hope Harbinger Dragon, probably going to be that 750 bundle, 950 bundle, I think it is. And so, it is limit 1, it does clash the moment with your Infinity, and so for Galaxy-Eyes decks, you've got to kind of pick and choose which one do you want. Usually it probably is going to be this one, but hopefully at some point we'll also see the Photon Lord come back. That could be a really cool addition down the line for the more, pure Galaxy-Eyes focused decks. That'd be really cool. Now, we did want to touch on one thing from this. Now, it obviously is bare, right? The month of February does look pretty bare because a lot of it is a holdover from January, plus of course the KC Cup. Now, we are expecting a Go Rush Cup on the 13th of March, and so that does mean that before then we should see a brand new Rush box. Now, the big thing will be, are they going to do what they did with EMI, where we have a character release 2 days before-ish the start of Stage 1, and so they double up the Go Rush Festival with a Rush character, so they can make more room for speed events. I think they'll do that again. Now, what that means is that we're going to be looking at, February 2nd, I believe, through to the 10th or 11th-ish being a filler speed event, maybe, a Turbo Duel, maybe a PV event of some kind, who knows, and then we get a Rush unlock very close. They could also just not do that. They could also go and do a Rush character unlock on February 1st or 2nd, and then go into that. Now, I feel like they're not going to be doing that because they would have probably announced that on this. Because you've got to look at this and optically go, this looks really, really bad, right? Especially when we usually see a brand new character release at the end of February. So it feels bad optically for them to do it this way. And so I believe that is because there's going to be a bit of a gap, and then there will be a brand new Rush character around the 10th or 11th of March. That is my prediction. We'll have to see. I hope it is a 7s one, more so than Go Rush, because we do need more support for those older decks. So fingers crossed that's what happens. And finally, we've got a brand new Rush Duel box to go through. This is the Crimson Volcalize deck box. Now, of course, deck builds have a bit of a negative rap, but this one I think is better than usual because we're getting 8 brand new cards rather than 6. Now, it's not that many, given that 2 of them are going to be the maximum pieces. However, I think overall, this is not a bad deck build. Now, one of the downsides is, for a deck build box, they've not really put too much in for the Pyro theme. Right, they could have gone and reprinted more, could have got the Ember, I believe it is, and so that would have been a good reprint to include. They've also done some weird things with naming the cards, right, like this one here, Mega Star Monarch Estrome, should have been Estrome, the Star Mega Monarch, right, going on the theming of Wilhel and literally every other Monarch in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. Feels a bit weird. Similarly for Star Monarch Estrome, they've done the same thing there. Now, I think, like, the two themes are good. The issue is, where they are in Rush right now in Duel Links, may not be good enough. From what I've been seeing, the maximum-wise has been really easy to summon, right? It's been really easy to summon, but in terms of actually pulling the effect off multiple times, you're not really getting there, right? And so that can feel kind of bad, especially when sometimes your game plan is setting up multiple turns, you might just die in those turns because we've got less life points, and so it is a bit of a... It's a rough one, Then for Monarchs, I love this deck, right? In Duel Links, I played the Blue Eyes Monarch build, I won a couple of Challenger Cups with it. It was a really fun deck back in the day. It was like a year and a half ago. However, I don't think where we are at the moment is going to be good enough with the Monarchs. Now, there's plenty more support they can bring. In fact, in OSG, in actual Rush on paper, they are one of the best decks in the format right now. And they've been that way for the last couple of months. So there is way more potential in the future with them. But at the moment in Duel Links, I think that they're not going to be that amazing. Kind of feels like a Red Eye situation, right, with them, whereas like the thing would be playable, you know, they'll be coggable, which of course is like your main and game content in Duel Links. However, in terms of, you know, tournament competitive viability, maybe they're not going to be that up there. Now, we also got the Field Spell in a card trader drop, and so the reason why this video is kind of partially delayed is because I wanted to open the box, but I didn't want to do it until I pulled this card, and it took me 2.5 days of resets to find one copy of the card. Now, it is a card you only need 1 or 2 copies of anyway, so hopefully we can get away with 1 copy, but that felt a little bit rough. That felt rough. Now, let's go over to Duel Links real quick. Go to the shop, and I'm going to speed open these packs. I'm going to quickly check to see, have we got the second copy of the Field Spell? We don't. Unfortunate, however, we are going to go in for the brand new Crimson Volcalize deck box. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can pull the new cards before we pull the old arts. Right, that'd be good. Bulk purchase for this, I believe, is going to be a selection box, right? We've got enough gems to kind of go through all of it, I believe. No, we don't. No, we don't. It's 7,500. We don't. So, if we go for an entire gem pool, and we put everything, that'd be great. That'd be a good saving of about 1,000 gems. That'd be good. If we don't, that's gonna suck. But that's really good so far. Seeing 2 of our new cards in the first 10 is incredible. Let's go number 2. It always feels weird, right? Because I want to say, well, it's Prismatic, but Prismatics in Duel Links, you know, they're not that great. Ooh, that is very good as well. 3 of our brand new cards, right? So we're now missing new card-wise. We're missing Trade-In, we're missing the Estrome, and we're missing the Compound. So, fingers crossed, we can just pull into those 3 now. No, we were overdue a reprint slot. That was, yep, a bit annoying, but that's fine. 20 packs left in the box. Let's see, we've pulled Wilhel and the Trade-In. So now it's going to be going through, I mean, we can bulk purchase reset. Well, we don't need to, right? No, we don't need to, because we've actually got left the Compound and the Estrome. Now, Compound is a weird one. Like, do I think I'm going to need 3 copies of this? No, probably not. But I don't want to be in a situation where I need multiple copies and I don't have it. So we're just going to go in and hopefully reset early. We pulled into a second copy of our Phoenix and we gained 3 packs. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Let's see, next one. It's going to be the second maximum piece and the Wilhel reprint. Unfortunate. Come on, don't make me go down to the bottom of the box all 3 times. Don't do that. Let's see, we've got the Zeus, and that's going to be Trade-In, but nothing really great there. We do need 3 copies of all the maximum pieces, and we are going to need, I believe, 2 to 3 of all the Monarchs. Let's see, bam, we've got, of course, Estrome, the Mega Star Monarch. I'm not going to call it its actual name. It's not happening. And we've pulled. Okay, very good. Very good. Show me the other Star Monarch Estrome. We're actually missing the same last cards again in the box than we did before. So, okay, you gonna show me this? Show me this Estrome, please, on this last one. Am I really going to need 3 of this? Do I feel like you're not going to, but it's a nice bridge card, right? It's a nice bridge card into your big, your big guy. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? we're gonna hit the reset anyway. So if it's the first pack, that'd be incredible. It's not. Let's see how far we go. Just don't go down further. Please don't go into next 10. Just like, please don't. You're going to, aren't you? If we get to the bottom, like next box, if we see this card in the last slots, I am just gonna like not open it because I'm just gonna see if that kind of functions with the existing things. There's our third copy of the brand new Hebe, the Wisdom Vassal, it's called, the Star Vassal. Pack 10 is going to be absolutely nothing. So we have 46 packs left. We have 40 packs worth of gems. Can we pull into the new cards and not be on those 6 remaining packs? Let's see. That's good so far. Okay. Very, very good. Let's find out. Next temple. We pulled. Okay. Okay, it's looking good. It's looking good. All we need now is trade-in, is this and this, right? So it's very, very doable to see those without, you know, going into the slots. Oh, it is going to be the Chemicalized Salamander, unfortunately. Okay. I said I'd do this, right? I said I'd do this. We've gone through. The last card in the box every time has been the Astrome. There is 16 packs left. I think I'm going to hold off there. If I don't need the third copy, I don't need it. I haven't got to waste my gems trying to get the third copy. If I do, I'll go waste them. If not, this has been, I guess, fairly okay. We've saved some out of gems, not an amazing amount, but still, we've saved some. So hopefully, fingers crossed, in the next few days we'll have a video on the Monarch stuff, on the Maximum. That'd be cool. Of course, our tickets expiring soon, so I'm going to go and claim those, and okay, just boring ones, that's perfectly fine. Anyway, that's my big kind of overview video, catch up of what's happening with Duel Links. Speed stuff, not really been to my cup of tea at the moment, but the rush stuff, of course, is very much there, even if it may not be that amazing. Anyway, thanks for watching, adios.